Good morning, school family. Today is Tuesday, February 5th, 2024, and it is a great day to learn something new at Ellington Magnet. My name is Kyra, and I'm here today with Dana and Layla from class 403. Please stand quietly for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The character trait of the month is integrity. Integrity is having the inner strength to be truthful, trustworthy, and sincere in all things, doing the right thing when no one's looking. In the following situation, which action shows integrity? Explain. You took home a bad grade on a math test. You know your parents will want to see it. A. You show your parents and discuss why you got the bad grade. B. You hide the math test. If your parents find out, you'll be in trouble.
Okay, who would like to share this morning with us? A or B? What would you do and why? Miss Rosner's class.
A. Stand up, talk to
A. A, because if you hide the test and they parents find out, it makes you get in more trouble.
But integrity has a big deal.
But if you show the parents, they won't get mad at you, and they will help you explain how to get better grades on your test.
Thank you for sharing Miss Rosner's class. Any other class would like to share their choice and why? Miss Bial's class.
Monica. I would choose A because if I showed them my math test, I could show them what I'm struggling with, and I might need extra help.
Thank you for sharing. Nice job, Miss Rosner and Miss Bial's class. So we're going to continue with morning announcements and turn it back over to Cairo.
It's Black History Month. Today we will focus on Martin Luther King Jr. The time is always right. To do what is right. Martin Luther King Jr. was a civil rights activist in the 1950s and 1960s. He led nonviolent protests to fight for the rights of all people, including African Americans. He hoped that America and the world could form a society where race would not impact a person's civil rights. He is considered one of the greatest orators of modern times, and his speeches still inspire many to this day.
Yep, that's where he gave his biggest speech. Dear Tim and Moby, can you do a Martin Luther King movie? Thanks, Amari. The Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was one of the most important leaders of the American Civil Rights Movement. That was the effort to extend equal rights to all people, regardless of race. Well, in the first half of the 20th century, that was a controversial idea. In many parts of the country, African Americans were barred from participating in ordinary life. They couldn't eat at the same lunch tables, go to the same schools, or even use the same bathrooms as white people. This practice of separating African Americans from white people was called segregation. In the South, segregation was enforced through Jim Crow laws. They made it illegal for African Americans to mix with whites. They policed black behavior, too. African Americans had to live in separate neighborhoods, hold specific jobs, and talk to whites with the utmost respect. Try to fight it, and you risk jail time, injury, even death. There were no Jim Crow laws up north, but unspoken rules still kept African Americans apart. In many places, white homeowners would only sell their houses to other white people. These informal codes ensured that African Americans remained second-class citizens. Martin Luther King grew up in the midst of all that inequality. He was born in 1929 to a middle-class family in Atlanta, Georgia. Both his grandfather and his father were pastors at a local church. King attended religious colleges up north, in Philadelphia and Boston. He noticed black and white people mixing more freely than he'd seen growing up. Though these cities had their share of racial tension, they were a far cry from the way things were down south. Dr. King moved to Montgomery, Alabama with his wife, Coretta, in 1953. He became a pastor and community leader. Around that time, a local woman named Rosa Parks was arrested for refusing to give her bus seat to a white man. King joined forces with activist Joanne Robinson to organize a massive boycott of the Montgomery bus system. Most black citizens of Montgomery refused to ride the buses for over a year. Many were violently attacked just for walking instead of taking a bus. Dr. King's house was bombed, and along with dozens of other protesters, he was thrown in jail. But these injustices drew national attention to the issue. And in 1956, a Supreme Court decision banned segregated buses. After that victory, King helped organize a group of churches dedicated to nonviolent protests for civil rights. He was inspired by the life of Mahatma Gandhi, whose nonviolent leadership helped free India from British rule. Over the next decade, King led protests and marches all over the country. The biggest was the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom in 1963. Hundreds of thousands of people gathered in the nation's capital to support civil rights. It was there that Dr. King delivered his momentous I Have a Dream speech.
One day right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today.
Okay, we're going to stop right there, and Cairo has a question for everyone this morning in regards to our video. Okay.
Picture this. You are sitting in an interview with Dr. King. What question would you ask him and why?
I'm going to repeat the question for you. Cairo's question this morning is, picture this. You are sitting in an interview with Dr. King. What question would you ask him and why? Take a moment to think about it, and then you can use the raise your hand feature to share your question and why. Miss Ali's class, what question would you ask Dr. King and why?
I would ask him, why did Martin Luther King choose to speak about civil rights?
Where you're asking Dr. King the question, right? Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. So you would say, why would you focus on civil rights? Why is that your question for Dr. King?
I want to know, why did he want to fight for justice?
Some reading and some research, you'll be able to answer your question. Okay, thank you for sharing, Miss Ali's class. Miss Bial, then Miss Samaya.
There you go. I wasn't on mute.
I will ask him what gave you the courage to do what you did.
Why would you ask him that question?
Because I know it would take me a lot of courage to fight for civil rights.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for sharing.
Okay.
Okay, Miss Samaya's class, take it away.
Go ahead.
I would ask Martin Luther King, what inspired you to fight for civil rights?
Why is that your question?
That's my question because it takes a lot of guts and it takes inspiration to be able to risk going to jail or even getting killed to fight for other people's rights.
Thank you for sharing. And I hope through some research and some reading and new learning that we do on Dr. King that we are all able to answer those questions. Miss Isan's class. What is your question for Dr. King and why?
I was gonna ask, why would you help somebody you didn't know? Because he helped Rosa Parks and he didn't know her, but we gave her a seat up. So that's why I asked the question.
That's a great question. So hopefully through some learning, we are all able to answer these questions, and tomorrow morning during morning announcements, you can share with us the answers to those questions. So I'm going to turn it back over to our morning announcements, friends.
Layla will now recite the I Will Graduate Pledge.
I am determined that I will graduate from college. Education is my key to future success. I will attend school every day. I will work hard in every way. I will honor all who have shared their knowledge with me so I can succeed. I will stay out of trouble and engage in activities that support my community. I will have faith in myself and never give up. I will be positive even when times get tough. I will do my best. I will strive to be the best. I will graduate.
Okay, so we did see Miss Elderberry's class with their hands raised, so we do want to give you an opportunity to share. So you may go ahead and unmute and share your question for Dr. King. Miss Elderberry's class, go ahead.
Alright, so what I want to ask about Martin Luther King is why did his house get burned down? I mean, got exploded by a bomb, and why did he go to jail for it?
Why?
And then why I wanted to ask that is because there must be some certain reason why, but I don't know why. So I just wanted to ask it.
That is a question that we all think about. Dr. King will be able to answer it. Thank you, Miss Elderberry's class. We're going to continue with our morning announcements.
Dana will now share our lunch and recess schedule for today. Today for lunch we will have Chef's Choice or Caribbean style beef patty, seasoned red fries, salad bar, rainbow bar. Today we will have inside recess. Please remember to follow directions. This week's skill fluency, in both reading and math, we will practice our fluency. What does fluency in reading look like? What does fluency in math look like? We wish everyone a great day. We will turn it over to Principal Hasbury's signal.
Good morning, everyone. Well, that was a nice treat to see this morning, to learn some new information regarding Martin Luther King. This is Black History Month. We have so many things planned for us to learn, new activities this month, as well as completing some activities. I want to send out a very important reminder this morning. Teachers, the bathroom on the third floor is required to be supervised. We know sometimes we like to stretch our legs and walk around, but you need to be watching the students inside the bathroom. What I mean by that is you need to be actively watching the door, monitoring who's walking in and who's walking out. Sometimes the girls' bathroom is beyond the double doors, so you kind of get used to just sitting or having yourself stationed right at the part where it's where your line begins. But our custodians are becoming very overwhelmed. Paper towels are not allowed in the toilet. There's a difference between a paper towel and tissue paper. Tissue paper are the only paper that belongs inside the toilet. The urinal in the boys' bathroom, where boys stand up to use the restroom if they choose to, that is not a place where we would jump on and sit and use the restroom. We have to talk about these things because you might be from different cultures and you may not have saw that type of urinal before. So we want to make sure that you know how to use the bathroom appropriately. For girls and boys and any other unisex bathroom that you choose to select, paper towels should not go in the toilet to be flushed. They're from a different material, they're hard, they clog up our systems. And that's not right because we need our toilets to use them all day. Just like if you were home, you wouldn't go to the sink, wash your hands with a paper towel, and then put the paper towel in the toilet. You wouldn't do that. The paper towel belongs in the trash. The only difference between the paper towel that we have here at school and home is that our paper towel at school is brown. And then the paper towel at home is usually white. But tissue is usually white. Tissue is softer. Tissue is when we hold our nose, when we sneeze, and tissue is for our bottoms when we use the bathroom. That is what goes inside the toilet. Okay? So we want to make sure that you guys follow these rules because teachers, the key is supposed to be in one uniform place. You have to send the key back. And once each class has used the bathroom, you have to lock the bathroom door on the third floor. It cannot stay open all day long because then you send students over to the bathroom unescorted and they may play games in the bathroom. I still have 3 students that are in Miss Prasad's class that made a bad decision in regards to what they did in the bathroom that I saw with my own eyes, taking paper towels, throwing them over the stall, throwing them to the top of the ceiling so it can stick. All of those things you're playing in the bathroom. Those 3 students still owe us a lunch detention. So I will be sure that Dr. Williams will follow up with you on Friday. And there are some things that we can do during lunch detention to help us make sure our cafeterias are clean, orderly, and it's usable for everyone. If you guys have any more questions for me or Dr. D. Chiaris or Miss Rice or any adult that's in this building, you guys can come to us and ask us. Today, our school aides will be participating in a zero waste professional learning. We're learning new ways on how to take our waste from the cafeteria and make it better for our environment. So there's a lot of things that are happening. Our morning announcement is a great place for us to share this information. And please remember, teachers, share the homework for the week. Many of you have received feedback in regards to how we want to support our students at home and how to have parents access that. So we want to be able to make sure to see those changes for next week. Thank you, everyone. We're going to make this a great day, and I'll see you guys when I walk around. Have a great day. Bye.
Say bye, say bye.
Bye.